In this video, we will demonstrate how to replace frame bearings using Transition's Bearing Press tool. The tool is available in two sizes to accommodate any Transition brand frame. Today we'll be working with a covert, but the technique is the same for all Transition bikes. So when do you need to replace your bearings? The best way to tell is to remove your rear shock from the bike and cycle the suspension. If it feels rough, gritty, or loose, your bike will benefit from a fresh set of bearings available direct from Transition bikes. This task will take about an hour and will require either one or both of our bearing tools depending on which frame you have. The rear end of some Transition bikes uses a small set of bearings, while others use a medium size, and all the bikes use a larger bearing in the main pivot. The only other tools required to use the bearing press tool are a 13mm box or open end wrench and a 6mm Allen wrench. To get started, remove the rear wheel from the bike. We then remove any components connected to the rear end of the bike, such as the rear brake caliper and rear derailleur. This is also an excellent opportunity to replace your derailleur cables and housing. The linkage bolts are pretty tight, so it's easiest to break the bolts free while everything is assembled. You'll need to remove your cranks to access the main pivot bolt. Next, we remove the pivot axle, but be sure to catch the bearing washers as you disassemble the linkage, otherwise you'll be searching the floor for them. Every single pivot has a washer, and some pivots use an inner sleeve, so push these out with your fingers and set them aside for reuse. Now that we have the bearings exposed, let's have a look at how the bearing press tool works. In one orientation, the tool pushes bearings out. The tool features a window so you can see that you have proper alignment. Clean all of the frame bearing surfaces to be sure that you're not pressing your fresh bearings into a pile of grit. Here's a close-up of the bearing installation. When it gets tight, you're done. There's no need for a massive amount of torque. The new bearings will sit flush with the frame. To make frame reassembly easier, use a dab of grease to hold the bearing washers in place, then assemble your freshly revamped rear end. Keeping the bolts loose will make this easier. Once the frame is fully assembled, you can now tighten up all your pivot bolts, then reinstall your drivetrain and rear brake caliper. It's a good idea to check your pivot bolts after every couple of rides to maximize your bearing life and suspension performance. Now that your frame is good as new, get outside and shred happy.